Proctor. Thank you very much for joining me. Today we're going to talk about how to dramatically increase your referral business. We all love referrals because, arguably it's the easiest business that we can get, right? When somebody says, come on over and list my house because you did business with my uncle or my friend. So we definitely want to do as much as we possibly can to make that happen. How many of you love come list me's? So we're going to talk about how to improve that. The crazy thing is when I ask most real estate agents specifically what they do to get referrals, they don't really have a great plan. Not all realtors, but a lot of realtors who even realtors that brag about getting a lot of referrals, when I break it down and I ask them specifically what they do to encourage this good behavior, they're really not that specific. So I call those accidental referrals. How many of you might be guilty of getting some accidental referrals where you're not doing a whole lot specifically to ensure that you get referrals, but you still get quite a few anyway? So let me throw this out here. Imagine if you actually tried, right? If you're getting sort of accidental referrals, if you're getting referrals easily without a real systematic method of programming your clients for referrals, what would happen if you actually tried? So I'm going to ask you folks a few questions here today, and I want to make this interactive. So if you could respond to my questions, that would make this even better because everybody would be able to see your answers. So I've written down a bunch of questions that I'd like to ask you and kind of lay out my way of doing referrals, of getting referrals. And I have coached realtors now for over 20 years, and I've got real estate agents that I've worked with for 10, 15 years or longer who are making millions of dollars a year selling real estate. And a big part of that comes from referrals. So again, if you're joining a little late, I'm real estate coach Craig Proctor, and our topic today is how to do an amazing job getting more referrals. We're going to talk about a really great referral system. So first of all, let's begin by asking you, what marketplace are you in right now? That's an easy way to try to get some referrals back and forth. One of the big struggles that we fight in real estate is obscurity, right? People can't refer business to you if they don't know who you are. So type into the comments right now the major marketplace that you serve, and let's get your name and your area out there because we do get referrals going back and forth every week as I go live here on Facebook. And by the way, when you want to refer one of your clients across the country, you want to make sure you're referring your client that you care about to a really great agent. And that's who we attract here in Craig Proctor Nation, are realtors that take the time to want to learn and they want to improve and get better at what they do. Okay, so how to dramatically increase your referral business. Here's what normally happens. Old school is we're taught I should ask people for referrals, but we don't have a real great referral offer. So what is your referral offer right now? Like, what would you say to somebody? Or do you even ask for referrals? See, the problem is it seems kind of self-serving, doesn't it? Like, do you know anybody? How many of you have felt that way before, where you feel let me know in the comments if you've ever felt a little bit awkward, you feel it's kind of self-serving. Hey, do you know anybody? Do you know anybody that's thinking of buying or selling? How many of you have kind of felt like, it's not really my family and my friends' job to send me referrals, like it's not really their job. And so because it seems awkward or self-serving, kind of selfish, like, hey, I need some money, do you know anybody? Many of us shy away from this. So I want to give you a better approach here today so you understand how to do this in a much better way. That's my goal. So a few questions. So if you can play along with me and share your answers as I ask you these questions. The first question is, why do people send you referrals? Type that into the comments below. Let's start from, the 1,000-foot level. why do clients send you referrals now? Why is it that they would even send you referrals? Okay, now let's have you type in your comments. Why do they send you referrals? Okay, and some of you are typing in things like, well, I get a lot of referrals because I do a good job. So how many of you would agree with that? Let me know in the comments. The reason I get referrals is because I do a good job for my clients. That's what many of us believe, right? If we do a good job, we're going to get referrals. But let's back up the bus here for a minute. Don't you do a good job for all your clients? But they don't all send you referrals. Do you see the disconnect? We believe that the reason we get referrals is if we do a good job. Because we do a good job, our clients will send us referrals. And maybe we don't even have to ask our happy clients for referrals. Just because we do a good job, they're going to know to send us referrals. Quick story. I remember when I first got started in real estate, I'm at the local mall and I meet one of my past clients. I just sold her house like 6 months ago. And she introduces me to her sister. She goes, oh, this is my sister, so-and-so. And, she just moved into town. She just bought a house. And I'm like, well, why didn't you refer to me? And my client said, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. You see, we have this perception that our clients should know to send us referrals. And this lady's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I just didn't even think about it. And she didn't. I could see she was quite innocent, introducing me to her sister. Her sister had moved here. Even though I had done a good job for her, even though she really liked me, even though she ran up to me at the local mall and said hi and introduced the sister, it wasn't top of mind. That's on me, right? And it's on you. How many referrals do you lose every single year because you're not doing a good job of programming your clients to send you referrals? Okay, so the first myth that I'm talking about here today is we falsely believe that people give us referrals just because we do a good job. Now, it is true if you don't do a good job, you're probably not going to get referrals, but just because you do a good job doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to get a referral. Okay, we have to ask for referrals. Okay, we have to ask for referrals. So how do your clients know to send you referrals? Do you ask them? And if you do ask them, what do you say? Do you say, hey, I need some money? Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody that wants to buy or sell? I coached my son's hockey team one year, and one of the parents was a realtor. And boy, this guy was annoying. Like every practice on Saturday, every game on Sunday, he's he's pushing his business cards in the parents' face. Look, buddy, we know you're a real estate agent. Believe me. Everybody kind of shied away from this guy, and it was very uncomfortable. Have you ever felt that way before? You've sensed that before? It kind of made everybody's skin crawl. So this, again, is another reason why we shy away from asking for referrals, because it doesn't feel good. It feels self-serving, right? It feels like it's something you want someone else to do just to benefit you. So how do they know to send you referrals? Okay, and the next question is, when is the best time to ask your clients for referrals? Let me know in the comments below. When do you think the very best time to ask for referrals is? So what do I mean by that? Is it best to ask, at the beginning of the relationship, after an offer is accepted on their home, or if they're a buyer after their offer is accepted? Is it better to wait till closing? When do you think would be the best time to ask for referrals? Okay. What is your referral offer? When you're asking for referrals, what do you say? Do you just say, hey, I need some business? And if someone sends you a referral, do you give them something? That's another question, right? If somebody was to refer their brother, their uncle, their cousin, do you give them something? Do you at least pick up the phone and call the person that sent you the referral and thank them at a minimum, right? Because sometimes that doesn't happen. You can imagine if you were the person that referred somebody to a realtor and you didn't get even as much as a phone call from that realtor saying, hey, thank you very much for the referral. I really appreciate it. You see, the prospect might think, well, I guess this isn't important. I didn't even get as much as a thank you. So we want to make sure that we want to reinforce that good behavior. When someone sends you a referral, at a minimum, you want to pick up the phone and thank them for the referral. You want to encourage that type of activity. But some of you probably have some type of gift or something that you would give to somebody that sends you a referral. I'm not talking about another real estate agent giving you a referral. They're going to want 25 or 30%. I'm talking about a member of the public. I'm talking about a friend of yours, a family member, a past client, someone your kids know. Somebody sends you a referral. Do you give them something? Let me know in the comments. What do you give them? Do you give them, a bottle of wine? Do you give them a gift certificate for Starbucks? Do you give them cash? How many of you believe that, we probably should give them something? Let me know in the comments what your gift would be. Or do you not do that at all? Do you not think that that's a good idea? Okay, so let me answer some of these questions. The best time to ask for referrals is when your prospect loves you the most. You want to program them at the beginning of the relationship. So if it's a seller, the day they list their property with you, the day they list their house with you, they're entrusting you, right, with the biggest asset they have, which is their home. You want to program them for referrals right there. You don't want to wait until closing, because now they're not thinking about real estate anymore. How many of you are familiar with the term reticular activator? What is a reticular activator? It's almost like these two little antennae that, pop out of your head. Your reticular activator is the part of your brain that pays attention to other situations that are parallel to your own. So, if you're a family with young kids, naturally, you notice other families with young kids. If you're thinking of buying a car, or you just buy a brand new car, what do you notice on the road? Cars just like the one you're interested in, or just like the one that you just bought, right? If you're looking for a laptop computer, all of a sudden you're going to see sales and advertisements for laptop computers. Now, after you buy the laptop computer, those ads are still there. You just don't see them anymore, right? This is what happens when people are in the process to buy and sell. Now, if you wait until closing to ask for referrals, those little antennae, they go down. That prospect, is this making sense? Let me know if this is making sense. That prospect, by the time we get to the closing date, they're not in the process of thinking about real estate anymore. They're outside of the transaction, right? They're thinking about landscaping and decorating their house, or whatever they think about. Now, let's think if you do this right. If you program your client for referrals and you do this right, and I'm going to show you some good offers to make, what happens, whether you do this or not, here's what happens. Let's take the seller that just lists their home with you. Whether you pay attention to this or not, here's what's going on. The minute you leave their house, they're probably going to get on the phone. They're going to call their parents or their friends or their relatives. They're going to say, hey, guess what? We just listed our house. We're moving. You want to tie yourself into that conversation, right? That day they go to work, or the next day they go to work, and they tell all their coworkers that they've listed their house, and they're talking about real estate, and they're talking about their moving plans. You want to tie yourself into these natural conversations that your prospect is having anyway. They get home from work that next day, and the for sale sign gets pounded in the front lawn, and now all the neighbors are in their front yard, and they're talking about real estate. You want to plug yourself in to these natural conversations that buyers and sellers are having anyway, and you want to do it at the beginning of the relationship. Don't wait till closing. Don't wait until the end of the relationship, because you're missing the opportunity of plugging yourself into all these natural conversations that buyers and sellers are going to have anyway, whether you do this or you don't. Okay, let's talk about, first of all, if you like this, if this makes sense, give me a thumbs up. Maybe smash on that blue thumbs up button, or maybe even a little heart would be better if this is making sense. Let's talk about the offer itself. Okay, so again, one of the things that I felt really uncomfortable with early in real estate was looking like this was self-serving. I felt it kind of made my skin crawl. I don't know if you're like me, but I just felt awkward. So what happened is I didn't ask for referrals because it seemed kind of weird to me. I seemed uncomfortable. Hey, do you know anybody? Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody? So here's what I came up with. What I came up with is something called worthy cause referral marketing. Okay, now this is just a suggestion for those of you that would like to try this. But the millionaire real estate agents that I coach, what they do is they tie themselves into a worthy cause. And basically, here's how it works. After you list the house, you would say to the seller, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, something that I do to encourage referrals, if you like how I handle your transaction, is if you refer me anybody, friend, relative, coworker, I donate a portion of that transaction to, and then you fill in the blank. What is your worthy cause going to be? Now, for me, when my daughter was younger, she was quite sick, and she spent a lot of time in the local sick kids hospital. So I used that. I think I have an example, maybe, of what that looks like. So this was, I printed it out. I just don't know where it is. But I'll give you, this is one of my clients here. Okay, that is Sarah Reynolds. It says, your referrals help the children. Sarah Reynolds has been my client now for about 14 years. She's the #1 Keller Williams agent in the world. Okay, here's mine. And by the way, I have this cool, I have this gift for you. I have printed all this out. I've assembled all this for you guys so you can do this. But this was what my referral card looked like. Okay, and basically what it said is, every time you refer somebody to me, I'm going to give, it could be $500, it could be a percentage of your income on any transaction, and it worked really well. What I liked about this is I wasn't talking about myself. How many of you would agree it would be way easier to talk about something that you really believed in? Now, that's what I want you to think about right now. What kind of worthy cause could you really get behind? It has to be something you really believe in. And I know for all of you, there's something that's touched your life, right? It could be cancer. So it might be the Cancer Society. It could be the Heart and Stroke Foundation. It could be homeless people. Here's one of my clients in San Diego. His name is Jim Buttrell. He was a Marine. So when he got back from service, his worthy cause was wounded warriors. So we teach you how to market this, okay? We teach you how to market your worthy cause. And this is actually, if you're doing this right, it's actually an extra form in the listing presentation. So imagine the seller signs the listing agreement, and then we get them to sign off acknowledging that they know about your worthy cause. And if it's something you really believe in, you're not going to feel awkward or weird about talking about it, right? So, if I say to you, well, do you know anybody? It's like self-serving, right? But if I say to you, hey, every time I get a referral, I take a part of that commission and I send it to the local sick kids hospital, and I tell my story about when my daughter was really sick when she was young, and here's why I really believe in the local sick kids hospital. Well, Jim here has no problems talking about, as a Marine, he has no problem talking about what he believes in. His worthy cause is wounded warriors. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think would be a good worthy cause for you? Like, all of us have something that's touched us in our lives at some point, right? How many of you are animal lovers? Like, my wife's a huge animal lover. So, if my wife was a realtor, she might say, I'm going to donate, for every referral I get, I'm going to donate a portion of that to the local animal shelter, right? It could be the Salvation Army, whatever it is that feels good for you. Now, I know some of you will ask, well, could we do it this way, Craig? Could we say to our client, if they send us a referral, that we'll donate to a charity of their choice? I suppose we could do that. I just find it better. Here's what I think. If it's something you really believe in, then you're going to ask for referrals. How many of you would agree that this is like, it's way better than giving them a bottle of wine, right? Would saving a sick child's life, would that be more valuable? Is that more important than giving the client a bottle of wine, right? Making a donation to the Heart and Stroke Foundation or the Cancer Society or Wounded Warriors or your local homeless shelter, that has more meaning than giving them a gift certificate for Panera Bread, right? Or giving them cash. If you felt better about asking for referrals and you had a better referral offer, let me know in the comments. Do you believe that you could get more referrals? Right here, what I'm giving you folks, if you just did this, Craig Proctor's made you a lot of money. Think about if you did this, if you actually did this, and you got one more referral this year, just one more referral, what's your average commission? What if you could get one more referral every single month? This could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. So this becomes part of your marketing. Now, the next thing I would teach you to do is how to use this in all of your marketing, not just after you get the listing signed, not just after when the buyer signs the buyer agreement, but I would teach you how to create a past client newsletter. And in the newsletter, I would teach you what needs to go in the newsletter so people actually want to read it. How many of you know you should probably have a newsletter? But how many of you also already get newsletters from maybe financial planners or whoever, and because there's nothing of interest, it's kind of junk mail, you just throw it in the garbage can? So let's agree there would be no purpose in you sending out a newsletter to your past clients and your sphere of influence every month if it wasn't a good newsletter. Because if it's junk, it's going to go in the garbage. So we need to teach you how to create a good newsletter so you can keep in touch with your sphere of influence. That's what we have here, right? In real estate, this is what we build. Whether you're a realtor for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, our biggest asset is our goodwill that we have with our clients and our past clients. So we want to leverage off of that goodwill using a worthy cause. Look, folks, this is a win-win-win. Okay, your clients are going to feel really good about this because every time they send you a referral, they know that part of that money is going to a really good cause. Okay? You're going to win, obviously, because you're going to get more business. It's going to motivate or encourage your sphere of influence, the people that know you and like you and trust you, to send you more business. Okay? And the clients they refer are going to win because they get to work with you. Think of the disservice that you're doing to all those buyers and sellers that aren't being referred to you right now. They are getting stuck with a lesser real estate agent than you. So we can't have that happen, right? That would not be fair to the buyers and sellers if they didn't get an opportunity to meet with and work with you. So that's what we want to work on, folks, is we want to improve our offer so we get more referrals. I started off this call saying some of you already get a lot of referrals, but when I ask you specifically what you're doing, you can't really tell me, which I call accidental referrals, right? So if you like referrals and you're already getting a fair amount of referrals, however, you're not really doing a lot to cause that to happen, imagine what would happen if you actually tried. Think about that. If you're hardly doing anything now and you're already getting a lot of referrals, what would happen if you and I worked together and we actually created a very specific and effective referral marketing plan for you? Worthy cause marketing. So here's what I've created for you. I have created a handout because I want you guys to do this. Why do I want you to do it? Because I want to prove to you that what I teach will help you make a lot of money. I am paying it forward. Do you know the easiest way to prove to all of you that I can help you is just to do what I'm doing now. I'm just going to help you. Okay, I'm just going to help you. So if you want this report on how to do what we're talking about today, there's 4 pages. Here's the first page. How to get clients to sell your services. So you want your clients to be your walking, talking billboards for you. It comes with everything you need to know, everything that we explained. It comes with examples of how to do it, including my referral card right there. If you would like to get this free gift, what I'd like you to do is type into the comments right now, free report. Just type in the words right now into the comments below, free report, and I'll make sure that we get this out to you. Also, many of you that are with us today are inside my private Facebook group. That's where a lot of the magic happens. Right now, we're live on my business page. But if you would like to get inside, behind the curtain, inside the walls of the Craig Proctor private Facebook group, if you want to type into the comments below, private group, I'll make sure that you get an invitation, and then you'll get lots of great stuff like this. And you're going to get to hang around with real estate agents that are making millions of dollars doing what I'm sharing with you. So you don't have to believe me. You can start to talk to people that are actually making millions of dollars successfully using the Craig Proctor system. So Sarah Reynolds, who I showed you earlier, okay, she's been my client for 14 years. I think she's probably at the KW event right now. She's either number one or number two in the world for Keller Williams every single year. I think last year her team, Sarah and her mom and her team, they did over $20 million. Now, yeah, they have a big team. Like, I'm talking $20 million in commissions, by the way. I'm not talking about they sold $21 million homes. Jim Buttrell, the other guy here, this guy probably makes, I don't know, I'm guessing $6 million in GCI. If you want to know how to become the very top agent in your marketplace, first of all, you want to learn from people that actually are. Okay, like if you wanted to play golf, you wouldn't want to learn from somebody that's never been a golfer before. A lot of the coaches and gurus out there today are kind of pretenders, in my opinion, because they didn't actually get rich selling real estate. One thing I believe you're going to like about me is I can give you the specifics on how to actually do all this, because I actually got rich selling real estate. Not doing seminars and coaching or however else these guys got rich. I actually was in the trenches for over 20 years. Many of you know my story. I was the number one RE/MAX agent in the world. That's very public and well known. For several years, I was the top agent in the world for RE/MAX for commissions earned. And I did that within 3 years of having my real estate license. But the thing I'm most proud of is the thousands of real estate agents that I've helped become millionaires. No other coach or trainer or guru has created more millionaire real estate agents than Craig Proctor. So if that's your ambition, if you want to build a real business eventually that doesn't depend on you, what I'm talking about is having an overflow of marketing so that you can leverage off of your lead generation and you can start to build a team. Then I would show you how to scale your team so you would end up making way more money than whatever you're making now. I know you're thinking, well, I got to split the commission with the team. Yes, but if let's say that you were doing 4 times as much business and you didn't have to work as much, or eventually maybe you didn't have to work in your business at all, it would be a real business, right? Like your real estate business should be serving your life. Your real estate business should make your life better. Many of you have kind of created a monster, right? Most real estate agents, if they don't know how to do this properly, for the few that become successful, they end up sacrificing their entire life for their income. How many of you know of realtors like that? Or maybe that applies to you. It's a bit of a success trap, right? Because you're making a lot of money selling real estate, but you're tired, right? Because you've got to trade 40 or 50 or 60 hours of your week, every single week. That's why you can't go on vacation. When you go on vacation, the whole thing stops, right? So imagine if we can get systems and people in place so you can start to scale your business and you start to get your life back. Because just to remind you, the reason we all got into real estate is we wanted more freedom, right? Freedom means you need both the money and you need the time. So that's one of the biggest gifts I can give to you is to, the money's nice. I can show you how to make more money, but the real secret is getting the systems and the people in place so you can make far more money over the next couple of years, and you can start to back yourself out of the business and eventually do what I did. Okay, eventually, I've got my business up here in Toronto. We're doing 500 to 600 homes sales, but I'm living in Florida on an island, right? My business worked without me. Now, sure, I did phone calls and I did training, and today we can do a lot of training over Zoom, but you've got such a wonderful opportunity now to leverage what you know and grow this bigger and beyond you. So it's just not relying on you all the time. Because you got to think about this. Eventually, you're going to get tired. Okay? I want you to, how many of you are already tired? Right? How many of you look at some of the other realtors in your office and you look at these realtors that have been at it for 20 or 30 years and you look at them and some of them are divorced and, they don't have any time for themselves. They never take vacation. They're always living commission to commission. Yeah, that's what's normal in real estate. So you've got to kind of look into the future and say, where do I want to take this? Do I just want to be like the solo agent out there grinding it away? Or would I like to have a real business where I slowly start to, first comes the marketing, right? Without the marketing, nobody wants to come and work with you, right? Just to be clear, the first thing we help you with is we help you create an overflow of appointments. Once you have those appointments, that's the leverage to get other people to come and work with you. Imagine if you could say to other realtors in your marketplace, hey, the biggest problem I have, I can't even go out on all my listing appointments. I've got so many of them. Okay, you're going to try in the beginning, and I want you to do that. Definitely, I want you to go out on all the listing appointments you can possibly handle, but let's crank it up a bit more to the point where you can't go out on them. Then you have the leverage to attract other real estate agents, and they will want to come and work with you because you now have the thing that they want. So then we teach you how to coach them up and train them and start to apply these systems. Now, over time, you'll hire another licensed agent, a couple of admin people, and you're going to sell way more real estate. Like, look at what I just said. I was doing 500 to 600 transactions, and I was living in Florida on an island. Do you know my first couple years in real estate, I was working like 60 or 70 hours a week to do 20 or 30 transactions, right? It's crazy. And so if you would have said to Craig, if you'd have said to me at the beginning of my career, first of all, the idea of selling 500 homes a year, I would say, well, that's insanity. I wouldn't have believed it was even possible, right? Because I didn't understand leverage. But I was one of the first real estate agents, if not the first, in all of North America to create a team. It just made sense to me, right? Look at all the other professions outside of real estate. Your doctor has a team, right? Your dentist has a team. Your accountant has a team. Why would we want to penalize ourselves by just being a solo agent? This is about leverage. So first, we teach you the marketing. You've got to have inbound. This is not about cold calling or door knocking or any of that. It's about getting inbound business and really high quality appointments. In the beginning, you're going to go out on them all, but eventually, I promise you, you'll get to the point where you can't do it. I remember when I hired my first licensed agent. In the beginning, I hogged all the listings. I just delegated the buyers to her. And then eventually she became a pretty good agent, and a lot of the buyers she was working with eventually wanted to list their house. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to teach her how to list houses. So as soon as I trained her how to do this, here was my epiphany. She was converting the listings at the same rate as me. In other words, it didn't matter whether Craig went out on the listing appointment or I sent her out on the listing appointment. We were converting 80% of the listing appointments to a signed agreement. So that's when the Rainmaker Theory comes into play. What is the Rainmaker Theory? Rainmaker Theory says if you can't change the outcome, you shouldn't be involved. So I realized that going out and listing the homes wasn't really a Rainmaker activity at some point. That I could make more money just working on the marketing, working on recruiting, hiring, and trading the agents. And my new job became creating listing appointments for my team. Okay, so that's where you can take this thing. So I hope you've enjoyed today. I want to give you a little vision casting to how big and successful. And if you're struggling right now in this marketplace, folks, look, you got to look at reality. You can't blame the marketplace, right? This is the best real estate market in the history of ever. There's more houses selling than ever. They're selling at higher prices than there's like 20 offers on every property. If you're struggling now, what are you going to do when interest rates go up? What are you going to do when it slows down? So you want to find a mentor, and who your mentor is really important to your success. Just like, again, if you want to become a better golfer, you would find somebody that's a really good golfer. If you want to really, truly create a real estate business, find yourself a coach. Now, if you would like to set up a time to speak with me and my team, if someone could type into the comments, proctorcall.com. So my name, proctorcall.com. You're still with me, and we're like, 35 minutes into this. That means you're interested. Okay, if you're still here watching this, it means you're really interested in my approach. Why don't you book a free call with my team and I? Okay, go to proctorcall.com, just click on that clickable link, pick a day and a time that works for you, and we will just do a free call. No cost, no obligation. We will explain to you how we could help you take your business from where it is now to where you would like to take it. We would explain to you the techniques that we would use. At the end of the call, you can judge and say, well, you know what, I think this is really helpful. Maybe I'd like to work with Craig in a closer way, which we would love. Or at the end of the call, you might say, well, this is not for me. But, nothing ventured, nothing gained. What part of a free call would be the downside, right? Like, you came here for a reason. You're watching me right now for a reason, and you've been here now for 36 minutes watching to this. There's something here that makes sense, right? So make sure you do that. Go to proctorcall.com and let's book a call with you. Again, we talked about the referral system, but that's just one of many, many systems that I can help you implement in your business. I gave you this one, and I'm giving you the report that you can request so you can start to implement this. I hope this made sense today. Again, if it did, let me know in the comments below if you found this incredibly helpful. And make sure that you give me a little heart or smash on the blue thumbs up button. Make sure that you turn on notifications on this page, because every time I go live, you'll get my content. And if you know of another realtor you think would benefit from what we talked about today, there's a little share button. You could share this video training with another realtor that you know that would benefit, or even the broker owner, even the broker of your company, because I know your broker wants to help other realtors as well. So we're going to wrap it up. I really want to thank you for being with me here today. Again, this is real estate coach Craig Proctor. Book a call with us at proctorcall.com, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching. Have yourself a great day. Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're going to see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's going to let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.